Good morning, OJRHS students. Welcome to your opening class meeting. Normally, we would all be sitting in the auditorium and you'd be listening to us speak to you live, but this year we're coming to you virtually. So right now we're in the week before the week of October 12th. By the time you see this, we'll be in the week of October 12th. So a couple reminders right off the bat. October 12th is currently set to be the date that ninth grade will return to blended learning at the high school in your cohort. So if you are cohort A, which is letters A to K, you'll be returning on the 12th. If you are cohort B, you'll be returning on the 15th. That is a Thursday. The following week, the week of October 19th, is when the entire school will be returning to blended learning in their cohorts. Again, A to K on Monday and Tuesday, and the rest of the alphabet following on Thursday and Friday. When we return, we are going to have approximately 700 kids in the building. We'll be having 3 lunches as usual, according to your A, B, and C lunch on your schedule. And the cyber students will still be attending the Cyber Academy from home. Every student is still following their period 1 through 7 schedule during that time. If you are a cyber student or a blended student, you will have some component of virtual learning. There is a virtual code of conduct that is linked to a presentation that you'll be able to look at. And then on the high school fall reopening page, you can also find the virtual code of conduct, which talks about expectations for attending school virtually when you're not in person. For both cyber and blended, the best way for you guys to access your education is to be present during the classes synchronously. This is encouraged for both blended and cyber students, and in this way you have access to your teachers, you have participation in the class with your peers, and you can see the content as it's occurring in real time. You will have the opportunity to attend virtually for labs. We'll talk more about that as we get into the school year here in a few weeks. And I'm going to pause for just a second and talk about safety issues. Okay, when we have 700 students in the building, we have to make sure we're all keeping each other safe. So one of the main ways that we're doing that is with the mask. So the proper way to wear the mask: over the nose, over the mouth. Try not to touch it very much. Try to take it on and off from here. And masks are to be worn at all times in the building. They're to be worn on the bus when you come to school. So anytime you're being transported to and from school or in school, you're to have a mask on. We do have the ability to give you a mask break in class. The way we do that: raise your hand, ask your teacher. The teacher will allow you to take a mask break according to their directions. So communicate with your teacher on that. The one time that you can take your mask off is after you get your lunch and you're in the cafeteria eating your lunch at a safe social distance. You may have your mask off. Obviously, you'll need to have that off to eat. We have 3 locations that we are using for the cafeteria. We have the cafeteria, spaced again at 6-foot distances. We have the LGI, and we have room 159, which is a quiet eating area. You can access any of those areas, but we ask students that are bringing their lunch, please try the LGI first. If that's full, then go to the cafeteria. That way we can space kids out appropriately. We encourage all students to bring a water bottle. Bring a water bottle so you can refill it. We have 2 filling stations now and 2 more are on the way. I want to go over a couple of rules with you right at the beginning here, just to make sure that everybody's on the same page about a few things. But everyone needs to look at the student handbook and make sure they understand what happens if some rules and policies are violated. So we're going to talk about a few things. Cyberbullying and bullying is the first one. The main rule is be nice. Try to be nice and kind to each other. Treat people as you would want to be treated. And if someone is treating you in a way that you don't want to be treated, go through the right channels and report that rather than trying to retaliate. Bullying in person or through social media or through text, any way electronically, when it interferes with student education, creates a threat, disrupts school operation, is a problem, and we have to follow through with discipline on that. you have access to electronics more so now than you have in the past, social media sites. Anything that's done on social media or through an app that is bullying can get reported back to us, and we have to act on that and try to mediate that situation. So we just want you to be aware of that. But again, the overall rule is be nice to each other and treat people as you want to be treated. Everybody has a Chromebook. We are a one-to-one school. Again, on the high school webpage, if you have an issue with your Chromebook, you can find Mr. Ben Condello. He's the person to contact. His contact information is there. You can put in a help desk ticket. And we have an acceptable use policy. So you have a one-to-one Chromebook, you have a Gmail account. When you're logged on to that Gmail account, you are using, whether you're home or in school, you're using a school system. And so the acceptable use policy that you signed when you got your Chromebook and that exists in the student handbook applies to you for that. Please follow that and know that we have systems in place to make sure you're staying safe. So we may get a notification if a student is on an inappropriate site on their Google account, whether it's on your Chromebook or whether you're logged into your Google account on another computer. We may get a notification, and then we'll have to follow up on that and call you and say, hey, why are you on this inappropriate site? Possibly have to talk to your parents about that. So be aware that that exists. Drugs. Drugs in school obviously are forbidden. If you are in possession of drugs, it's an automatic 7-day out-of-school suspension, and then there's a hearing for reentry to school after that. If you are found to be distributing drugs, it's an automatic 10-day suspension, likely followed by a hearing for expulsion. Okay, so taking drugs seriously, make sure you don't have them in school, make sure you're not under the influence of drugs in school. That's fair game as well. Same goes for alcohol and tobacco. For tobacco, which includes any form of vaping, if you are a first-time offender, automatic in-school suspension. Second-time offender, automatic 3 days out-of-school suspension, and it escalates from there. So vaping of any kind or having vaping materials on you would result in that type of discipline. And then the final thing I'm going to talk to you about in this segment are weapons. Weapons can take many forms. It could be a knife, could be a firework, any kind of firearm, anything that's sharp, nunchucks, anything that could be used as a weapon is forbidden. If you are in possession of a weapon in school, it will likely result in expulsion. So weapons are forbidden, and that includes anytime being transported to and from school, whether in your own vehicle or on a school bus, or if it's in the parking lot, your car's in the parking lot with a weapon in it. Okay. So that's where I'm going to leave you for now. I'm going to introduce Mrs. Caroline Slade, who is assistant principal and in charge of 11th grade discipline, and she's going to talk to you for a few minutes. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Slade, and I'm the assistant principal for 11th graders, and today we're going to talk about a few different things. We're going to start off with academic integrity and responsibility. So essentially, the definition of all of this is using others' ideas or work as your own. So that would include cheating on a test or a quiz, using your cell phone to cheat, looking at someone else's paper, copying your homework from somebody else, copying a paper from the internet. Some or most of you know that this year we've started to use a program called Turnitin, which essentially allows teachers to check for plagiarism from student work, and it's across the school. Allowing your assignment essay test to be copied, which is something many students don't realize, or also using an online language translator. The penalty consequences for any of these type of infractions are always an automatic 0, parent notification, and possible discipline depending on the situation, and also notification to National Honor Society. So if that's something that you're interested in being considered for, it's especially important that you do not have any issues with academic integrity. The thing that I've seen through my years in this role is that in most cases when students are written up for plagiarism or academic integrity, it's because they've procrastinated on a big project, for example, and then the night before they realize they have all this work to do, they ask a friend, hey, can I see your paper or whatever, and then that's when, instead of just looking at it or whatever, they actually use it, and that's when they really get jammed up. So the bottom line is, don't procrastinate, and you'll never be put in that situation. The other thing to consider is if somebody asks you for your work, hey, can I look at your paper or your project or whatever, don't give it to them, because if you give it to them and they use your work, then you also are going to be held responsible for that. All right. The next item is the Roberts Assistance Program, or RAP. For you ninth graders, back in middle school, Mrs. Morgan was the RAP counselor. Here it's Mrs. Mahoney, so they really have the same role. And what the RAP program does is assist students with any mental health, substance abuse, personal emotional concerns. If you are struggling, feel free to go to the RAP room, which is room 152. Or if you're concerned about a friend, you can also refer them to the RAP program so they can get the assistance that they need. All right, big slide. Next item, credits, promotion, and NCAA eligibility. So most of you upperclassmen should know this, but I'll review it for you and also give the freshmen an understanding of everything. So you need 24 credits to graduate, 4 years of English, 3 years of math, social studies, and science, 2 health classes, which most of you will take in 10th and 11th grade, although there's some flexibility with that, and then a minimum of 1.6 credits of phys ed. And you can do that in a number of different ways, but essentially you have to be taking some type of phys ed class every semester that you're here. In order to get promoted every year, you need 5 credits to go from 9th to 10th, 11 credits to go from 10th to 11th, and 17 and a half to go from 11th to 12th grade. For those of you athletes that are interested in possibly playing at the collegiate level, if you're interested in Division I or II sports, you need to not only be good enough at your sport to be able to play at that level, but also meet the academic requirements that are stipulated by the NCAA Eligibility Center. So to boil it down to its most simplest terms, you need to be taking at least college prep level academics. You have to meet those specific academic grade and SAT requirements as well. And like I said, be in CP level for all of your academic classes. If you have questions or concerns about any of the items on this slide, speak to your school counselor and they can assist you in understanding where you stand and answer those questions. All right, parking permits for juniors and seniors only. They're available if you have a valid license. Parking fees are waived for this year, but you still have to complete the registration on school pay. After you complete that registration on school pay, you're going to go to Officer Burdett's office. He's our school police officer. His office is actually right off the main lobby behind the attendance booth between 7 and 3 to pick up the permit for your car. All right, last item, safe to say. So it's, as most of you guys probably know by now, it's an anonymous reporting system that is designed to prevent harm to yourself or to others, whether it's verbal, physical, or via social media. If you see or hear of anything that is alarming to you, please act immediately. Don't hesitate. Don't assume that someone else is going to do it. Don't worry about any possible things that could happen, because the most important thing is that you take care of yourself and you take care of each other. If it's a true emergency, you're going to dial 911 ASAP. But to use Safe to Say, to report a tip, the first thing is to have already downloaded that app, which if you haven't done already, you should do it right now. You're going to search for Safe to Say something on your app store, or go to safetosaypa.org on your Chromebook or laptop. When you submit a tip, you're going to put in as much information as possible. If the crisis center there at Safe to Say has some questions, they may correspond back with you and ask you for more information. Many students, if it's a social media issue, will upload pictures, screenshots from whatever social media app that they are using, that they saw the thing that is concerning. And within seconds, really, the Safe to Say folks will notify the school for appropriate help, even if it's at night or on weekends, all hours of the night. We will get those tips and we will act on them to help or address whatever the concern or issue is.
Hi, I'm Mr. Wenzel. I'm the interim assistant principal for grades 9 through 10. So I'm really excited to be in that role this year to work with those students. So I'm very excited to get started and to get students back in the building. I'm also going to be in charge of activities and testing. As far as the activities are concerned, we have over 80 clubs that students can take part in and activities. We have a lot to offer here at the school. My plea, especially to the ninth graders, is to get involved. Try to get involved as many things as you can. It makes the whole high school experience so much better. So the more you can get involved in the school, the better off, and the more enjoyable your whole high school experience is going to be. You only have 4 years to do that. So, take advantage of that. And to all the students, get involved. If you haven't been involved, get involved now. We like to see students do those extracurricular activities. If you want information on clubs, a certain club, they're on the activities page on the website. You just have to go into the website and click on the club that you're interested in, look at where meeting times, meeting dates, who you contact. You can also contact me, and I would be more than happy to help you find out about meeting times and how to join clubs. So again, get involved, and that's the main purpose of the activities in clubs, is to get involved in something that you want, that you enjoy, and have fun doing that. I'm also going to be in charge of testing. So obviously, with last spring being a lot different. So last year, if you were in last year's cohort for biology, literature, and algebra, you'll be taking your Keystone exams this year. The biology Keystone will be in December. The algebra Keystone will be in January, and the literature Keystone exam will be sometime in the spring. If you're this year's cohort, if you're taking those classes this year, your Keystone exam is scheduled for the spring, later in the spring around May. So that's when you'll be taking those exams, and that's on schedule as needed. So if you were in it last year, you're going to have those different exams in different times to take those exams, so we can get those out of the way for you. Let me know. Again, we're looking forward to a great year. I'm looking forward to having the students back in the building. I'm excited to see everyone. And if there's any way I can help you have any questions, I'm here to help in any way that I can. And I'm looking forward to a great school year. And next, we're going to have Dr. Randy Cuthbert to talk about athletics.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Cuthbert, the District Athletic Director. I want to welcome you all back. We're all looking forward to having a great school year. I had a couple things to briefly talk with you about today. The first one is fall sports. They are underway. They started on 9/7, and they run through the first week of November, and then are followed up with the playoffs. In the fall, we offer girls volleyball, football, boys and girls cross country, boys and girls soccer, field hockey, girls tennis, golf, and cheer. We are playing a modified league schedule for games with the schools in each sport that are still running their sports programs. All information pertaining to athletics can be found at www.ojrwildcats.org. So I would encourage you to familiarize yourself with the website. There's a lot of good info there, including schedules, sign-up information, online registration, coach contacts, scores and results, start dates, and other important information. I would also encourage you to follow us on Twitter, OJR Athletics. There's daily game announcements, schedule changes, athletic announcements, and other important information. So between those two sources, you'll find all athletic information there. Spectators at games this year has been constantly changing and evolving. At this point in time, we are not allowing visiting team spectators, and each home team player can have 2 guests at the game. Individualized passes have been made and given out to all the kids that specify the team and level of the games that they're able to get their guests into. Spectators must wear a mask and be socially distanced. We'll continue to monitor the situation and the circumstances, but that's where we are right now with spectators at athletic events. Eligibility is also a critical factor for sports. We believe in a true student athlete where you're a student first. Our eligibility policy is you cannot have more than 1 F at a time. The first time that happens, you can practice for a week, but you can't play. The second time it happens, you can't practice or play for 1 week. And if it happens 3 times in 1 semester, you're removed from the team. So it's critical to stay on top of your studies, and you need to be a student before the athlete piece. And then finally, hazing. We have a zero tolerance policy for hazing. It's counterproductive to the team atmosphere that we want to create for our kids and teams. If you hear of anything, I would ask you please report it to your coach or the athletic office as soon as possible. And that's critical, again, for the team atmosphere we want to create. We want we don't want to have any type of hazing going on. I'm looking forward to working with you all. If you have any questions, please email, call, or stop by the athletic office. And I hope that everybody has a great school year. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Brilla. I am the coordinator of the new Leader of the Pack. We're going to replace Homecoming Court this year with the Wildcat Court. What this is it's a student-elected court of students from the senior class that have spirit, that show school pride. This October 9th, the senior class is going to have the opportunity to nominate one member from the senior class. This could be anybody from the senior class. They can only nominate one, and they can only do it once during the entire day. But with those nominations, we're going to take the top nominations, and then we are going to have the Wildcat Court. We're going to introduce it to the student body, and then on Friday, October 23rd, the entire student body is going to have a chance to nominate one member from the Wildcat Court to be called Leader of the Pack for the 2020 school year. On Wednesday, October 28th, we're going to have a Google live stream where you will see all of the Wildcat Court members walk around the Wildcat statue outside in front of our high school, and then we will name whoever the Leader of the Pack for the 2020 will be. Look towards your Canvas email to find all the nominations and the ballots, and within the banner at the top of the Canvas page, you'll always see all the upcoming information that you'll need to know for Wildcat Court.
Hello, my name is Mr. Gilbert. I'm one of the school counselors here at the high school. The school counseling department is made up of 6 different counselors. You should know who your counselor is by now. If you don't, I would encourage you to go onto the website and see who the counselor is who will be working with you this year. To see your counselor, we have a little different format. We have an online form. If you go to the website, you fill out that form and submit it, we will send you a pass through your Google Calendar, and then you just come down and see your counselor when that appointment is set up, okay? I want to encourage you to check your Google Calendar and make sure that you are checking your school email. A lot of the communication that's coming to you from adults and from the school counseling department will be coming through your email and through your calendar. So I know it's one more thing to check, but please make sure that you're checking that on a regular basis. One of the things I wanted to talk to you about is knowing when to ask for help. This is a much different situation, and reaching out to adults, reaching out to your teachers individually, or reaching out to a counselor when you're feeling overwhelmed or you need help is an important skill in the situation that we're in. So please know when to ask for help. If you're not sure, talk to someone, send an email and say, hey, maybe I need some help with this, I'm not sure, and we'll work through it. There's a lot of people here to support you and help you every single day. It doesn't matter if it's a Wednesday, it doesn't matter what day it is, we're here to help you. So please reach out and know when to ask for that help. The last thing I want to talk about is getting involved. Make sure that you're getting involved. We still have, clubs and those things going on. Being part of the school community is so important. It's so helpful for you. It's good for your college resume, but more importantly, it's good for you as a person. So I want to encourage you to really get yourself involved with school. Don't just come to class and go home. Be part of the school community. Okay, so looking forward to working with you. Looking forward to seeing you guys, some of you guys soon, and hopefully, we'll keep moving forward. All right, thanks very much.
Hi, I'm Mrs. Bailey. I'm the nurse here at the high school. I have a few words to portray to you guys. First, let's take off our masks safely, only by the ear loops, and put it down, top down. So, when should you stay home from school? That's new this year. You should stay home if you have a fever of 99.5 with a forehead thermometer or 100 with an oral thermometer. If you have a cough, shortness of breath, difficulty breathing, or a change in or lack of smell or taste. If you have one of those, you need to stay home and have your parent call the attendance line with those symptoms. If you have 2 or more of the following, sore throat, chills, muscle pain, fatigue, headache, congestion or runny nose, nausea or vomiting or diarrhea, then your parent should call the attendance line and you should stay home. That's an awful lot of symptoms that are similar with other illnesses. But the big thing to remember is if this is different for you, then you should definitely take that seriously and stay home. How are we going to stay healthy in school this year? I'm sure you've seen the signs everywhere, but we're using PAUSE as our acronym. P for physical distancing, maintain a distance of at least 6 feet from others. A, avoid touching your face. W, wash your hands. Wash at least 20 seconds with soap and water. You may use hand sanitizer if soap and water is not available. S is for safety first. Wear a mask. Your mask should cover your nose, your mouth, and your chin for ultimate safety. So some things that are not new this year that are always here in the school. Peanut allergies or food allergies. If you have a known food allergy or even a latex allergy or a bee sting allergy, please have your doctor send a note and list the allergy with an action plan. An action plan would describe what to do in an emergency, such as medications and rescue medications, and emergency phone numbers so that I can make sure that you're safe. If you carry an EpiPen, which is fine, just let the nurse know and bring in a note from your doctor. We also let dining services know of your allergy, and they'll adjust your account so that you don't accidentally purchase something that might have a food that would cause a reaction. And also, please be responsible and avoid foods that cause you to have a reaction, and also be respectful of others when they say they can't have those foods. And finally, medications. You definitely can take medication here in school, but there is a policy to abide by so that you can stay safe, as can the rest of the school. You can receive a detention or a suspension if you have medication, even over-the-counter medication such as Tylenol or Advil here at school, on your person or in your backpack or purse. The only medications that you can carry are inhalers, EpiPens, and diabetes medications. And even in these cases, we will need paperwork from your doctor on file in my office. If you need to take any medication in school, an adult must bring it to the main office in the original container with a note from your doctor stating why you need the medication and how often to take it, and you can just stop in my office and I'm happy to take good care of you. I hope we all have a safe and healthy school year.
Thank you. So just going to leave you guys with a few words of wisdom, things that you can be successful with. If you're an upperclassman, you heard these from Dr. Early in previous years. He may have had a list of maybe 30 or more. Attend your classes. I know that's different this year with being home 2 days a week or being home 5 days a week. If you are cyber, the best way is to attend your classes in the schedule synchronously. You're going to get the best education that way. Try to stay organized. Stay on Canvas, see where your assignments are. Try to meet your deadlines and stay organized. Reach out to your teachers if you need to. That's communication. Your teachers are here to help you. We're here to help you. So if you have an issue, whether it's with an assignment for a teacher or something you don't understand, reach out to your teacher first, then reach out to us if you need to. Again, circling back to being nice. Help each other out. We're all here to protect each other in the school, be safe, and everybody wants to have a good experience. So be kind and helpful to each other. Follow all the health and safety directions that you're being prompted throughout the day. Again, the main one, wearing your masks, wearing them correctly, and social distancing. And we will help you with that to the best of our ability. We hope you have a great school year. Reach out to us if you need help of any kind. Thanks very much.